Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and this is my review of Star Trek Discovery Season 3, Episode 3. Yes, I know they're on Episode 9. It's been a crazy month. I've been busy, and also it's Star Trek Discovery. I mean, just like, one of the things, Mecha Random 42 and Nerdrotic, they cover this show, and you just see the pain in their faces. No, those are real Star Trek fans. As I've pointed out a million times, I'm like, it's fine. There's Star Trek stuff I've really liked. There's Star Trek stuff I'm completely indifferent to. But it's fun to jump in on the ground floor. Oh, it's there hasn't been a Star Trek show in a while, so Star Trek Discovery, and there were bits of season 1 and 2 that I liked. I even liked parts of episode 2 from season 3, but this one, I was just angry. I was just angry, like the whole show. I'm just going to throw out a couple of random things. Number one, I don't believe that anyone on the show enjoys it. I think making the show, acting, writing, directing, and this episode was directed by Jonathan Frakes. Like, seriously? He's been in all of those good episodes of STNG, and he was also in the movies. And it's like, this is awful. Now, I've talked before about how I thought that Mecha Random 42 and Nerdrotic, they were too harsh on the show earlier. But this one is hateful, aggressively hateful. Number one, said this a million times, but basing an entire an entire universe around Michael Burnham, a mentally ill egomaniac. She has the personality of a dictator, of a serial killer, not a heroic Starfleet officer. So at the very end of episode 2, Michael Burnham and the Discovery crew, they met up together 900 years in the future. She got there about a year before them, and she was crying. And then for the first 10 minutes of this episode, it's nothing but crying. Now, here's the deal. Supposedly, this is to bring in a female audience because women are more in touch with their emotions. They like more emotional stuff. They like soap operas. But this, just as people have said, this is Star Trek for people who don't like Star Trek. This is like, it's like a soap opera if you just like guessed what they were. Well, everyone's crying and no. Women, they can be emotional sometimes as men, but ask any woman who's an actual friend who will confide in you and bring up a character like Michael Burnham. They're like, I know a bitch like that. I hate that bitch. They hate, if you had a breakup, you got fired, I don't know, you saw a sad movie, they understand if you're crying. But if you're just crying all the time, they get sick of your ass real quick. And I'm talking about women. And then you go to things that are actually successful with women. Hallmark. I'll just throw random things out there like Twilight Zone, female audiences. What do you call that? The Hunger Games, stuff like this. Are the female characters just crying all the time? I know, on a couple of flights, I've been forced to watch like entire Twilight movies while not hearing any of the dialogue. There's some crying scenes, but it's more of like the main Kristen Stewart always just kind of looks like stoned and like a little lost. But it's not like, if you haven't seen this episode, I'm not kidding you. It's like 10 minutes of crying. And it's like 4 different scenes. And in every one, they're like, I found you. I searched. Okay, so are you in love with are you in love with the crew? Is this like some poly thing? Like, this is how someone, like, the third assistant comm officer, like, Michael Burnham will run into them in the hallway like, I searched time and space for you. Nobody likes this level of emotion. It's off-putting to men. It's off-putting to women. And again, I say, I don't think anyone enjoys working on this show. I think they are fucking miserable. So the plot is, okay, so there's this whole other thing, which is the weird racial SJW politics in this. In that at one point they're going back to Earth. And I said, the representative of Earth is going to be a black woman. Boom. Correct. And then they talk about there's these raiders. There's these bad guys. And the leader of them is named Wen. And you go, oh, okay, so it's an Asian name. I go, it's going to be a white guy. And then you see Wen, and it looks like it might be some sort of cyborg species. And I said, this is definitely going to be, this is 100% going to be a white guy. The funny thing is, like, the whole season is about the burn and all the dilithium exploded in the universe, and everyone's searching for this really, really rare element, which is a straight white man. I'm sorry, it's dilithium, but like you can already guess, there are no straight male characters in the cast at all, and it's gonna be just like last issue or last episode. So I'm not even kidding. After a bunch of really stupid machinations that are all jammed into like the last 17 minutes of the episode, basically Michael Burnham and Book, who, I didn't even get into it. Okay, this weird need to neuter black men. Michael Burnham and Book, who is this like action adventure looking dude, we're on a ship together for like a year. Nothing happened. Of course, nothing happened. Of course, now I'm sure. I know. I missed some episodes. Maybe later they're like, oh yeah, she got pregnant and had a kid. We just want to tell you about it. But it's all played like in this like completely neutered thing. So at the end, Michael Burnham and Book sneak onto another ship, capture the captain, and bring him back to the Discovery. They don't show that, of course. It's just, I mean, come on. Michael Burnham is effectively God. So of course she can do it. Is that then they basically put the leader, or the head of the defense of Earth, and Wen, the raider, they basically make him wear the get along shirt. They're like, have you ever spoken to each other? And Wen's like, we tried to go back to Earth when we ran out of everything and they blew up our ship. And they're like, really? They're like, well, we just blow up ships. No, we don't communicate. We don't hail, even though we hailed you, which is weird. I guess you must have changed your policy. Awful. And like, oh God, they turn over like the captain, chair to Saru, which is the obvious choice because he's solid, dependable. He's not mentally ill. He's not a psychopath. And like, it's so like, this isn't a TV show. This is a Michael Burnham worshipping cult. Both the people in the show, the characters, and the people who create the show. Like, it's insane. And everything is like, this is yours to have. He's like, really? You're going to give me? You're going to let me be the captain? Well, okay, so you're basically implying that she is the captain and she's abdicating her captaincy. Because as far as I remember, from the last bit, it was basically held up in the air who would be the captain. But again, Saru, not mentally ill, not a psychopath, not a narcissist. He's got the advantage. But embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. This is a hateful show. And no, man. I've heard good things about Mandalorian Season 2. I'm way behind in the episodes. If there's a really good or a really cringy episode and you want me to do a video on that, I'll do it. But yeah, I think I'm out. I mean, it's just so lazy. They're 900 years in the future, and basically everything's just the same. It's just pretty much the same. There's literally like 20 years of advancement in the technology in the last 900 years. You could do a story on that. You go 900 years in the future, like nothing's changed. You're like, what's happened? They're like, yeah, we basically maxed out our technology like 800 years ago. Like, we can't. And that's a real thing in societies. They'll have this giant growth, and then they'll just kind of like level off. And maybe, you could have had Discovery start that next, phase of inspiration and whatever. No. Teleporters, they have better, well, they're pretty much the same. Nothing matters. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.